any of the things like you want. In between, just let me know. Okay, so let me
Yeah.
just. So basically here, this course is all about Oracle SQL, PLSQL. So when we talk about Oracle SQL, PLSQL, so what
Mm-hmm.
basically this is, this when we say Oracle SQL, PLSQL, it is nothing but it's a language. It's a
Okay.
language, okay? It's a language, we know that. Now, what kind of language, where it is used? So basically, we have something called Oracle database. So if I ask you the definition of the database, so can you just put it down? Like, what is the definition of a database, if you know?
Which stores the data? Yeah.
Okay, which stores the data. So, for example, this hard disk of my laptop. So my laptop is a hard disk. Like we have a hard disk 500 GB or 1 GB, which also
Mm-hmm.
stores a data. So can we call our laptop hard disk also as a database? Can we call
No.
it?
No.
So then where is the difference? Like what is basically specifically like a database? So storing of data can be done in any mechanism. Like if I store in my notebook also, if I write some data, it will be storage of the data, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when we talk about the database, a database has to follow a certain architecture. Okay, so it has to
Okay.
have a certain architecture by which you store the data, read the data, and modify the data. So when we talk about
Okay.
the architecture in Oracle, that architecture is nothing but we call it as an RDBMS architecture, the Relational Database Management System. What is this architecture? So we have a database. So basically, I will just try to show it in a more pictorial form. So basically, suppose we have our database here, so which is nothing but it's
Mm-hmm.
an storage. Now again, Oracle database is also nothing but it's an storage. It's a memory where the data will get stored, but not the way it can be stored like anyway. There is a specific architecture the way we store the data. So all the data in the Oracle database has to come inside tables. So we have something called tables. Okay, so every database
Okay.
the data can be stored in many tables in Oracle. So you can have as many tables you can create in your database to store this
Mm-hmm.
data, and that too in the form of rows and columns. So you cannot store any data just randomly on a table. It has an architecture where each row represent one record in the table, and the columns will represent corresponding values. Okay.
Okay.
Now, this complete database is also divided into something called table spaces. So, the database, let's say you have a 1 terabyte of Oracle database, and it is divided logically. We have logical partitions in our laptop also, C drive, D drive, A drive. Also, like although the hard disk is 500 GB hard disk, but we logically divide it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, in Oracle also, what the DBS will do when the Oracle will get installed, so they will logically divide it into something called table spaces, and inside the table space, tables will be created, and on the tables, the data will be stored in the form of rows and columns. So that is the basic architecture how the data is stored in Oracle. Okay.
Okay.
At a given point of time, I suppose you want to see if you want to relate all the data together, then there is a way, and that is why every table has got a relationship with other table, no matter what data it stores. Okay, so suppose
Mm-hmm.
there is one table, table A, there is one table, table B. At a given
Mm-hmm.
point of time, if you want to see the complete data as one output, you can see it. You may not get the exact result, but yes, you are able to see all the data combining all the tables at one single query, because internally all these tables, so there is a relation between the tables. So you can form the relations between the table, you can form the relations between the data, and that is why this architecture is also known as relational database management system. Okay.
Okay.
So when we say about architecture, so this is the basic architecture how Oracle stores the data. There are some other databases also. For example, MySQL Server, we have Sybase, we have Teradata, we have other databases, MS Access. But RDBMS, Oracle follows RDBMS in a very rigid way. Like, I mean, there is tight integration between the architecture, what Oracle follows, and what other company follows. Okay, so that is why Oracle is most widely used database for huge transactions, for huge when there is a requirement to store huge amount of data. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So now for any database, now we will talk about Oracle. Now the latest version of Oracle is 12c, but most of the client are latestly into 11g only. Okay. So 12c
Okay.
is still not being used that much in the market. So 11g is the latest version of Oracle that we will be talking about, we will be working on. Okay.
Sure.
Although when we talk about SQL, PLSQL, there is no much difference because most of the difference will come in the architectural level. But again, we will follow the latest one so that like we will be on the updated version of the database. Okay.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
Now, when we talk about Oracle database, any database, not only Oracle, at least three important features or three important activities that database has to provide. What is that activity? The number one, you should be able to store new data. So storing of
Mm-hmm.
new data has to be
Mm-hmm.
done. Then the
Mm-hmm.
next one is you should be able to read the data. So whatever you have
Mm-hmm.
stored at any point of time, you should be able to read that data. That means you could be able to retrieve the information from the database.
Mm-hmm.
And the third one is you should be able to modify the data. So these are the three basic operations a database has to provide. Storage of new data, if you want to store additional data or a new data in the database, so it should
Mm-hmm.
provide that feature. It should allow you to read the data what is being there in the database, and it should allow you to modify the data also. Now
Okay.
to achieve these three things in the database and to communicate with the Oracle database, we need to know the language. So that is where your SQL language comes into picture. So you
Okay.
have an Oracle database, you have the architecture intact. You know like what you have to do with the database. But how? How should I do it? So that is where Oracle database come up with the language that if you learn Oracle SQL, when we say
Mm-hmm.
SQL, it is a very generic term. Okay, Deepak. So SQL is
Mm-hmm.
used for many places. Like MySQL server, also we have MySQL. We have
Mm-hmm.
TSQL for Teradata. So SQL is a very generic term. So when we talk about SQL, you have to mention, okay, which database SQL. So it is, we call it as an Oracle SQL. So that means whatever we are going to learn in this SQL will be basically used to communicate with Oracle database because the syntaxes are based on Oracle database. Okay, there will be a slight syntax difference into MySQL server also, and there
Mm-hmm.
TSQL. But when we talk about SQL, it has to be specifically for one database, uh, the SQL which is understood by a specific database. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
So when we say about SQL, what is the full form? We call it as a structured query language, as you know, structured
Yeah.
query language. So when we say about a structured query language, it means it's a query based language. That means you write one command or one query, you will get an output. You write another query,
Mm-hmm.
you will get an output. Okay. So with this query based language, I can able to store new data. I will be able to read
Mm-hmm.
the data, and I will be able to modify the data. All the three operations I can achieve it through the structured query language of Oracle, that is SQL. Okay. So
Okay.
once you learn the SQL, like you are a person who knows how to communicate with Oracle database and perform the three major operations which I listed above.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, since this is a structured query language, it has got certain limitations. What are the limitations? It is a query-based language. That means at a given point of time, you can fire only one query into the database and you can get the result. You fire another query, you will get a result. But that is
Mm-hmm.
not always very helpful in a real time. In real time,
Mm-hmm.
you will work with the SQL plus logic. So there is what PLSQL comes into picture. So PLSQL says that it is a programming language SQL. That means along with your SQL, you can embed your logics also in your code. So it is the basic difference between an SQL and PLSQL is in PLSQL, you can fire a group of queries together as a block. We call it as a PLSQL block. So it is not that you are limited only to fire a single query and get a single result. You can write a group of queries. You can take your logic in place. You can embed all your PL logics, and then you fire a block of statements which can have multiple selects, multiple update, insert, if then else feature, loop. If you want to rotate your code, all those flexibilities are basically provided into PLSQL. SQL has only query language. You can write your query, get a result, write your query, get a result. But in PLSQL, along with your logic, you can embed your SQL so that you have a better control on the how you want to process your data, how you want to read your data, how you want to take actions on the certain data. All those flexibility, you have a better control when you write a PLSQL program. Okay. Finally,
Okay.
you are doing only the three operations. Either you are storing the data, reading the data, or modifying the data, even through PLSQL, but with a better control in a better logical way. Okay.
Okay.
For example, suppose you want, suppose I tell you update all the employees' salary with 5% hike. So that can be done with a very simple update statement. Okay, update employees' salary with 5% done. But if I give you certain logics to be built, okay, update all the employees' salary of department 20 as 5%, department 10 as 10%, department 30 as 20%. Out of department 20, if she is a female, another 2%. If she belongs to another category, another 3% hike. If his salary is more than 5,000, he is not eligible for hike. All those logics is not that easy to control in SQL. But in PLSQL, when you write a code, it is very easy to control and then finally to take the update action on the individual records.
Okay.
So that is the major difference that we will be saying when we will be working with PLSQL. So it has a better command. The code can be stored in the database. So all those features and all those like advantages of PLSQL, we will talk about it. Okay.
Sure.
Okay, so the first half of this course, we will cover the SQL part, and the next half of the course, we will cover the PLSQL part. So let me open the course content for you. So you can see this is basically the course content. So you have the introduction to the Oracle DBMS architecture. Okay, what is the database model? So we'll talk like these are the old methodologies, but in real time, like we will be focusing on the SQL parts, but still like database model, like what is, we have the RDBMS model, we have the network model, we have the relation model. Okay, history and of Oracle and product and features, we all know, okay, it's started from 7, 8, 9, 10, 11G. So basically, the course will start from here, introduction to SQL. So what is a structured query language? How the query language is divided into different categories. So the language categories, as you can see, and each of the commands we will talk about. So what are the commands which fall under DDL, the create, alter, drop, truncate, what is the difference between all those things we will talk about. TCL transaction control language, commit, rollback, and save point features we will talk about. Okay, privileges, that is revoke and grant privileges, that we will talk about. We'll talk about all the operators and the clauses in SQL. So we have the comparison operator, union operator, clauses. We have group by, having, order by, distinct, exist, not exist. All those clauses we will talk about. Okay, so this is just the heading details. More detail we will be covering like when we go through each of the sessions. Okay.
Okay.
Working with tables, data types, we have varchar, number, and then in the later stages we will see on the records how to create a record sets, what are the records, and how to modify a nested table, PLSQL, all those the composite data types we will talk about. Okay. So create table, alter, modify, drop, insert, update, delete, commit, rollback features. Oracle built-in functions, very important functions. So what are the max, minimum, service string, in string, lower, upper, date functions, conversion functions, decode function, case statement. All those things we will talk about in this Oracle built-in functions topic. Okay. Then we will cover the constraint part. So what is a primary key constraint, how a foreign key constraint is created, what is integrity constraint, what is unique constraint, not null check. We will talk about all these constraints. We'll talk about subqueries, how to write a subquery, correlated subquery, updating using a subquery, what is multi-row subquery, single-row subquery, and how we can use it. We'll talk about this. Okay. Coming to the joins, we'll cover the joins completely. What is the cross join, what is simple join, inner join, left outer, right outer, full outer, self join. All those joins we will be covering. Okay. Pseudo columns, what is row number, what is row ID, and how it is used. And set operators, union, union all, minus, and intersect operators. Okay. We'll talk about views, synonyms, and indexes at the last topic of SQL. And then we will move to the PLSQL. So role of PLSQL in application. So restrictions of SQL, just as I told you, what is the restriction of SQL? What is PLSQL engine? We'll talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk, basically it will start from here, an anonymous block. What is a declare begin end block? What is
Mm-hmm.
conditional structure? That is the if then else structures of PLSQL. We'll talk about
Mm-hmm.
loop structures. So the basic loop, the for loop, and the while loop.
Mm-hmm.
Exception handling, a very important chapter in PLSQL. It will take two classes to cover almost. But again,
Mm-hmm.
like if you have any doubt, it may extend to another one class. But so this is a very important
Okay.
area that we will be focusing on. We'll talk
Okay.
about cursors. What is the use of cursor? Another important area in PLSQL. We'll talk about subprograms. What is procedures? What is functions? What is stored procedure? What is overloading a function? How it is a package? What is specification? What is back body? What is the advantages of using package? How to call a procedure within a function and a function within a procedure. We'll talk about those
Mm-hmm.
parts very deeply. Then we'll
Mm-hmm.
move to database triggers. Just
refresh your screen attached images.
So we'll talk about database triggers, very important topic. What is a triggers? How to write a statement level, row level triggers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What are the predicates? What is instead of triggers, and what is a mutating trigger? Okay.
Okay.
Autonomous transaction, that is pragma autonomous transaction, pragma exception in it, and dynamic SQL, that is execute immediate features of your Oracle. Okay. So this is a
Okay.
kind of coverage that we will be covering in an SQL, PLSQL. Apart from that, if you have anything you encounter, or if you have anything which you know and which is a missing, you can bring it on the table. We will discuss. If I know, I will explain. If I don't know, I will read and explain. Okay.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah. Any question?
Uh, yeah. Okay. I just want to know what is the duration of this course, Sanjay?
The duration of a course is basically like a month of course. Like it basically takes 1 month, 1 week of time. Every day we'll have an hour of class, Monday to Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like we don't believe in the duration. Like we will go as per your understanding. So it may takes
Okay.
1 2 days more. It may complete on time. Like we will cover each topic, and if you have no doubts in that topic, and if you are practicing enough, and if you have
Mm-hmm.
no doubt, then we'll move to the next topic. So
Okay. And
we can, yeah. Then
yeah. And are you providing any tools for me to practice
yes,
on this?
yes, I will be
Okay.
providing you the materials. So basically, let me show you something. So we have a practice paper on the SQL. So you can see there is a PDF of SQL. Okay. So it has
Mm-hmm.
got the answers also. There are 238 questions, which is a combined packed questions of all the topics that we are going to cover in SQL. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So these 238 questions, if you can do it, it is all
Mm-hmm.
done. Like it has the answer, but I would suggest you, like slowly you started doing it from your own. If you don't understand,
Mm-hmm.
then you see the answer. Okay. So this is kind of
Okay.
a complete practice for you. Okay. All the
Okay.
topics are been covered in more detailed with the queries. So you can see, for example, list the highest paid employee for Chicago. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
joined before the most recent hired employee of grade 2. Let's say this is a question. Okay, you
Mm-hmm.
will have the tables. So when we will teach, we will talk about all these tables from where you need to bring this query. So you try to write this
Okay.
query of your own once you are done with this course. So you can see there is a subquery and there is all the operators are in place. So once you practice all these 238 questions, you will be well versed in SQL, no doubt. Group by, having, order by, joins, whatever. Okay.
Okay.
So similarly, we have for PLSQL also. So PLSQL is basically more sort of programming language. So that will come once you practice more. Like this course will once this course is complete, like it will that flow will need some time to come. You understanding, right? So once you are
Correct. Correct.
really
Yeah.
writing the code and all, then you will be slowly understanding, okay, how it is working and how it is happening. But anyway,
All
we
right.
have the content and materials also I will be providing you. So basically, let me tell you. So
Mm-hmm.
on the material side, like so you can see here in SQL we have all lesson wise PPTs. Okay, so
Okay.
this SQL material we will be providing you, so you can go through all these topics, whatever along with the example it has the PPTs. Okay,
Okay.
so you can just see these examples. For example, here you can see, okay, restricting and sorting the data, how, so with the select statement and with the queries, so you can use it. Okay, so you can
Okay.
just go through all these things. So anyway, all the sessions will get recorded also, so that you have a better control on the recording as well as this PPTs. Okay, similarly for
Okay.
PLS we have another set of PPTs, so all these things will be shared with you. Okay.
Sure, sure.
And tool, I will be tool in the case in terms of tool, you can use SQL Plus, which is a very basic tool which comes along with Oracle, or you can use Toad and SQL Developer, whatever you are comfortable.
Okay.
Okay, so I will be,
Okay.
yeah.
So the tool which I have to practice is being given by your side itself, the Toad or Oracle SQL, or should I download it that from the web page?
You were saying the language should be
Sanjay, you there?
There is a lot of noise happening.
Okay.
Yeah, the tool I will be providing, like it's an open source tool. For example, this Toad tool, you can download it. First tell me that do you have Oracle installed in your system, the Oracle database?
See, currently I have logged in from my work system now at the moment. Okay, I have on my work system, I do have this tool, but on my personal system, I do not have.
So are you going to use your personal system, or this? Better you use your personal system. You can install Oracle, like
Okay.
this guy will help you, or you can, and then you can download this Toad. You can see Toad for Oracle 11.6. If you search in Google, you'll get it. So you
Okay.
download it, you installed it, or they will guide you also. These people will help you in
Okay.
the institute. So Oracle,
Is
first the Oracle database need to be installed, and this will be acting as your client, the Oracle too.
okay. Okay. Is this compatible with the Mac?
What is that?
MacBook?
Mac
I
operating system.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I never installed it in Mac.
Okay.
So,
Sure. I
so if you can use your Office system, that is also fine. Like, because
Okay.
these are the basic, like when I will teach you, then like you can just we will see like if you can connect with the Scott user or the other users, which are the default user. If you can connect with that user, you can practice there itself. It will not harm your other data, the client data or whatever it is.
Okay. Okay. Sure. I will look into that as well.
Yeah, just to try it out, and if not,
Mm,
like I'm not sure in Mac, just try it out. If it get installed, it's fine.
okay. Sure. Mm, all right. I think I'll have more doubts when we have the training going on.
When you have the training and when you practice, then you will have more doubt.
Yeah.
When I
Yeah.
will have the training, you will not have any doubt. But
Yeah.
doubts
Yeah.
will come when you really practice it. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So just yeah, so once you confirm, like they will be telling you the schedule and the timings. Okay, mostly it will be the morning timing only. Okay, the same
Morning.
time 8 to 9 o'clock probably. Okay.
Okay.
So we will see like once other students will confirm, we'll form the batch and we will start the course. Okay.
Sure. Sure. Any idea approximately when the course would
Maybe by
start? In
day after tomorrow or Thursday max. We will start.
Thursday max. Okay. Sure.
Okay, Deepak. Any questions? Anything?
Sure, Sunday. I will reach out to Devendra.
Okay.
No, nothing much. Once when I start practicing, then I think I'll have more doubts then.
Yeah.
All right? Sure.
Okay.
Okay, I'll reach out to Devendra on this and
Yeah. Sure.
I'll discuss further. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.